He gasps for air, battered and exhausted. The maid and her beast stand before him. She tells him what she wants after this fight. A sudden blushing wink catches him off guard. She wants them to enter a relationship. He screams, completely lost by the sudden confession. This world is truly a hopeless, broken place. He walks silently through a bustling town market. Inside a tavern, men complain about the lack of monsters. A woman brags about throwing a useless slave away. He reflects on his own bitter experience. A bitter click of his tongue, he'd say the same. His dark laugh makes nearby women question his sanity. This is Rihito, an adventurer from another world. He remembers arriving years ago, dreaming of adventure. Instead, he was captured and treated like an animal. He escaped his master and fled to this town. He knows this world despises people summoned from beyond. A merchant suddenly offers him a slave for sale. The man insists that all adventurers need a slave. The merchant lists a slave's many uses day and night. The word uses echoes in his mind. He flatly rejects the offer. He doesn't use slaves. The merchant points to his scarred eye, suggesting a slave could have protected him. Our boy just stares, completely dumbfounded. A wave of exhaustion hits him. He admits he had a slave, but it was a disaster. The merchant says he couldn't live so dangerously, but he's grateful to adventurers. Rihito tries to walk away from the conversation, but the merchant gets a crazed look, insisting he try one today. The merchant winks, pointing right at our boy. He grabs Rihito, dragging him away by force. They arrive at the front of a slave shop. Inside, cages are filled with broken, chained people. A wolf-like slave snarls with pure hatred. Others stand with empty eyes, their spirits crushed. A three-eyed girl claws desperately at the bars. The merchant boasts of his excellent treatment. Rihito is sickened by this world's twisted logic. But as an outsider, he feels he can't judge them. Rihito sighs, wanting this nightmare to end. A voice calls out to the adventurer. He turns, confused by the sudden address. His gaze lands on a strange, eager slave. Unlike the others, she's full of life. She presents herself to him with a hopeful look. The merchant notes she's in better shape than the rest. He pitches her as a low-maintenance, prime-quality slave. Suddenly, she's right in his face, startling him. She asks if he wants her for her super-sexy body. Rihito stammers, denying any particular interest in her. She happily declares that he's buying her. She launches into a frantic pitch about her rare vitality. The sheer absurdity of it all shatters his mind. He screams back that he is absolutely not buying her. His harsh refusal makes her suddenly quiet and sad. She insists she will be useful to him as an adventurer. Her begging intensifies into a terrifying, desperate plea. Broken by the pressure, he screams that he'll buy her. And just like that, the deal is done. Her eyes sparkle with pure, unadulterated joy. Rihito despairs over his completely empty wallet. She proudly shows off her brand new maid outfit. She happily calls him master with a heart. Then she asks when they're going to get intimate. He screams that it is absolutely never happening. He questions why she chose such a revealing uniform. She declares it's the only proper choice for a maid. Rihito asks if she has a name, feeling like a villain. She hesitates, looking down with a sudden shyness. A light bulb goes off in her head. She decides to just call herself Slave-chan. She wonders why Rihito looks so displeased. Our boy is just horrified by her choice. Suddenly, a stern woman named Iris appears. The maid's cheerful demeanor instantly vanishes. She's completely shocked by the other woman's arrival. Rihito stammers out an awkward greeting. Iris calls him trash for blocking the street. He can only point, baffled by her aggression. Iris scolds him for not taking his role seriously. Slave-chan looks up at him, sensing his mood. The harsh lecture completely breaks his spirit. He gently pats her head, trying to reassure her. The small act of kindness makes her blush happily. Rihito explains that Iris is also from another world. He describes the harsh reality for summoned people, but Iris fights to earn a place for them. He admires her as a successful, respected adventurer. She tries to get his attention, clearly annoyed. She's completely shocked he's praising another woman. She admits it's unpleasant to hear her master do that. Rihito is baffled by her sudden jealousy. Iris grabs his arm, telling him to come with her. Slave-chan offers to make him forget Iris entirely. Their public scene draws uncomfortable stares from the crowd. She pouts, her grand gesture having failed completely. He quickly suggests they head to the Adventurers Guild. He explains the guild is a tavern for finding work. Inside, a waitress watches the rowdy adventurers. The waitress greets Rihito with overwhelming energy. He can only envy her cheerful disposition. She offers him the special, but he's not hungry. The waitress is shocked by his small appetite. She teases him for being too skinny. Rihito stands awkwardly between the two women. The waitress turns her attention to Slave-chan. Her excitement suddenly reaches a fever pitch. She asks if the beautiful girl is his girlfriend. Her friendly expression turns dark and intense. The waitress suddenly realizes what's going on. She mocks Rahito for being pressured into buying a slave. She explains that slaves only speak to their masters. He pats his new slave's head, trying to calm her. The waitress then judges him for the revealing outfit. Slave-chan glares, calling her new master the worst. The waitress laughs it off, asking if he's here for work. She explains that Iris already took all the available jobs, but she reassures him that it's not a problem. She presents a special request addressed only to him. He wonders who would specifically request him. A terrible feeling washes over our boy. The client's name is completely bizarre. The job is a wyvern hunt for a noble named Start. Rahito immediately tries to refuse the mission, but the waitress's eyes turn cold and empty. She warns that refusal means the guild's destruction. Outside, he complains about being forced into the hunt. Slave-chan is proud to serve a famous adventurer's family. She blushes and immediately proposes marriage. Rahito grumbles that the noble made a huge mistake, but Slave-chan insists there was no mistake at all. She declares a wyvern is nothing for her master. He tells her wyverns are incredibly dangerous creatures. Even the kingdom's knights struggle against them. She reveals the wyvern uses humans as bait. He panics, realizing they're in its hunting grounds. She just asks if her master is getting nervous. He screams back that of course he's nervous. She calls it their first mission as a married couple. He lets out a scream of pure, unadulterated terror. He tries to explain just how dangerous wyverns are. She winks, saying she'd be happy to be eaten by him. He shouts at her to stop talking nonsense. She points out his yelling has attracted the beast. He grits his teeth, knowing he has to fight alone. He orders Slave-chan to stay back and hide. The massive wyvern lands before them with a roar. It towers over them, blocking out the sky. He screams that it's not a wyvern but a dragon. A deafening roar shatters the air around them. The sound wave blasts them with incredible force. The sound nearly shatters Rahito's eardrums. She calmly calls the dragon a noisy lizard. She looks up at her master with concern. He screams that his eardrums are completely blown. She offers to lick his ears to heal them. The dragon's jaws open for a breath attack. His eyes widen, sensing the incoming danger. He screams that a breath attack is coming. The dragon's jaws gape wide, ready to attack. A torrent of fire erupts from its throat. The blast carves a massive crater into the landscape. The beast's eye narrows, searching for its target. It locks onto Rahito with cold reptilian malice. Flames lick around the dragon's powerful form. But Rahito throws up a hand, chanting a spell. A wall of magic erupts, shielding him from the fire. He pants, thankful his magic saved him from being ash. Slave-chan stares, stunned by the word ash. He screams her name, fearing she was caught in the blast. But she gives him a casual thumbs up, completely fine. He asks how she's unhurt, her clothes aren't even burned. He yells that his own clothes were magically protected. Her cheerful expression suddenly fades into sadness. She transforms, telling him not to ask pointless questions. She pouts, upset her clothes didn't conveniently get ripped. Rahito complains about the guild mistaking a dragon for a wyvern. He tries to focus, but the situation is too bizarre. In her strange form, she addresses the massive beast. She declares she won't forgive the attack on her master. A silly dragon reflects in her eye as she vows to kill it. The massive beast just stares, completely unimpressed. She begins to walk slowly toward the dragon. Her small steps echo with terrifying intent. The dragon's eye narrows, sensing a real threat. A wicked, terrifying smile spreads across her face. In a flash, she unleashes a single, powerful blow. The dragon is sent flying from the incredible impact. She stands completely unfazed by her own power. The dragon's eye widens in utter disbelief. She calmly asks if the fight is finally over. With a terrifying grin, she tells it to die. She unleashes another devastating final blow. The punch connects, shattering the dragon's head. Rahito is frozen, splattered with the beast's blood. The dragon's eyeball lands right on his head. She turns as the massive body collapses behind her. She gently reminds him that she told him so. She winks, saying he won't regret buying her. She blushes, asking if they should get married now. Rahito screams "monster" and runs for his life. He finally finds a moment of peaceful sleep. The next morning, he enjoys a rare, quiet moment. But his peaceful morning is about to be shattered. Slave-chan greets him in a very revealing apron. She playfully snaps the string of her new outfit. Then she winks, striking a confident pose. He groggily asks what that strange pose was. She asks if he wants a good morning kiss instead. He tells her he's going back to sleep. She quietly accepts his refusal with a sad look. Then she snaps, licking his face with terrifying intensity. A massive, glistening feast is laid out before him. Rahito sits at the table, his spirit completely broken. He mutters that this is far too much food. She explains it's to help him build his stamina. Her expression turns dark with a hungry, predatory look. He tries to refuse, but she's already devouring the food. Rihito just watches, completely drained by her energy. He examines a glistening scale from the dragon. She explains its proof for their guild quest. His mind flashes back to the slave merchant. The man praised her as a prime, low-maintenance product. He remembers her desperate play for him to buy her, and her immediate, suggestive proposition right after. He recalls her terrifying transformation during the fight. He holds up the scale, calling out her name. She just stuffs her face, completely oblivious. Rihito stares, baffled by her simple-minded nature. He stares her down, demanding to know what she is. His serious tone completely catches her off guard. She deflects, insisting this isn't the time for a kiss. He screams that she can't go out dressed like that. They head back out into the bustling town streets. Rihito follows her, completely exasperated by the situation. She just skips along, humming a cheerful little tune. He wonders if he's being manipulated or just paranoid. Something about her strange behavior doesn't add up. Then a sudden horrifying thought hits him. A burly adventurer suddenly decks him in the face. The man winks, saying he's heard all about him. Rihito stumbles back, recognizing the man as Luda. His gaze shifts to Slave-chan, calling her cute. Luda explains the guild waitress told him everything. The waitress gossips about Rihito's new special slave. Mortified, Rihito screams that it's all a misunderstanding. Luda tells him not to be embarrassed by his urges. He declares a man must follow his primal guidance. Rihito screams back, utterly disgusted by the advice. Luda offers to pass down his secret techniques. Slave-chan tells him to stay away from her master, but she realizes she must follow her own urges too. Luda just laughs, praising Rihito's luck with women. Rihito stammers, trying to deny any special connection. The man is impressed by his casual talk of nobles. He then mocks Rihito for being a lowly outsider. Luda suddenly stops, remembering Rihito's origins. Rihito knows this world despises people like him. The burly adventurer offers a quiet, sincere apology. The sudden apology completely shatters his composure. Luda just waves it off and heads out on his way. Nearby adventurers watch with cold, judging eyes. She asks if that aggressive man was his friend. He's a famous adventurer who always works alone. She tearfully notes her master is also a loner. Overwhelmed, he tells her to go to the guild first. He watches her head off towards the guild alone. The two adventurers from before watch from the shadows. They corner him, mocking his attempt to get away. The blonde adventurer sneers, making his intentions clear. They drag him into an alley to talk privately. A fist connects, sending him reeling from the blow. The thug complains about his high-pitched scream. They mock him for bragging about his new girl. The beating begins as they demand his money. He coughs, struggling to breathe from the assault. He asks if they're finished, hoping to be released. But they demand his money and his slave. Rihito glares, refusing to hand over his new companion. The thug mocks him for trying to act tough, but Rihito lands a solid punch to his jaw. He says the real problem is this world's logic. All he ever wanted was to live a quiet life. The thug screams he'll kill the transferred trash. Rihito calmly tells him that he is mistaken. The real trash, he declares, is the world itself. Sometime later, birds scatter from a nearby roof. Rihito emerges from the dark alley alone. Behind him, the two thugs lie broken and bloody. The guild waitress cries, begging for his forgiveness. Rihito stands there completely lost. He has no idea what is happening. She bows, apologizing for her sudden outburst. He tries to calm her, saying it was a simple mistake. But she heard he faced a dragon and nearly died. Slave-chan apparently told her the entire dramatic story. She clings to him, asking why he had to die. He's completely overwhelmed by her intense reaction. Meanwhile, Slave-chan just keeps on eating. A familiar, stern face appears in the guild. It's Iris, the other adventurer from beyond. Slave-chan recognizes her with immediate disdain. She asks Rihito if she should just kill her. He tells her to sit down and she quietly obeys. The waitress explains there's another request from the noble. Rihito can't believe he's being summoned again, but a new woman steps in to take over. She's a stunning noblewoman with a confident smile. Rihito is completely stunned by her sudden arrival. Rihito nervously recognizes the noblewoman as Meiko. The entire guild is immediately captivated by her beauty, but Slave-chan just keeps eating, completely unimpressed. He asks why the head of the Start family is here. She leans in close, about to kiss him. The guild waitress stares, completely shocked. The other adventurers can't believe what they're seeing. Even Slave-chan is stunned by the sudden display. A monstrous aura erupts as she screams for her master. The adventurers panic, screaming that Rihito is going to die. The waitress calls out his name, her eyes hidden. Her face twists into a murderous glare. Meiko whispers about a passionate night they shared. Slave-chan dissolves into a screaming blob of jealousy. The noblewoman can barely contain her laughter. She finally breaks, laughing at how easy he is to tease. Rihito mutters that her sense of humor is terrible. They both turn to the still raging blob of darkness. The monstrous form continues to tremble with rage. She returns to normal, demanding an explanation. Mako explains she's his patron and loves to tease him. Slave Chan mutters that she's just a simple client. Her jealousy is still simmering under the surface. Mako feigns innocence with a cute, sad expression. The other adventurers are completely flustered by the display. Rihito asks if that's all she came here to say. She reveals they were both slaves from another world. The public revelation leaves Rihito completely stunned. He screams at her for revealing their secret so openly. But she declares she's risen above her past, daring anyone to mock her. The adventurers immediately start fawning over Mako. Rihito crawls away, his spirit completely crushed. He looks up to see Slave Chan standing over him. A stress mark throbs on his temple. She looks down at her master with pity. Her eyes go dark, she decides to kill everyone. He grabs her, desperately trying to calm her down. Mako hands him a strange bear, amused by the chaos. He asks if they can finally get to the real topic. He asks if this is about the special request. He refuses to accept another one of her games. Rihito declares he is not her personal toy. But Mako just shrugs off his anger. She claims she trusts him more than anyone. The last job was a mistake, but he still succeeded. Rihito stammers, trying to give credit elsewhere. But Slave Chan says her deeds belong to her master. Mako's gaze hardens, her plan set in motion. She formally offers him a new, official quest. Rihito feels the pressure closing in around him. She looks at him with a confident, knowing smile. She tells him to become her kept man. The waitress's jaw hits the floor in disbelief. The entire guild stares, their minds completely blown. Even Slave Chan is stunned into silence. Rihito's face melts into a mask of pure terror. Mako paints a picture of his new, pampered life. He shakily holds a spoonful of food for her. He gives in, feeding the noblewoman a single bite. She calls him darling, asking for a kiss to complete the meal. The chaos escalates into a full-blown murder threat. Mako explains the threat is from inside her own mansion. She says it's just a woman's intuition, but her gut tells her something is very wrong. She winks, handing him a letter she found that morning. He takes the letter, learning it's a direct threat. But he realizes he can't read this world's writing. He tries to play it cool, pretending to understand. Mako tells him to read it aloud, cornering him. He admits defeat as she laughs at his failed bluff. Slave Chan offers to personally teach him how to read. Rihito asks what this has to do with the threat. Mako says they just need to crush the culprit. She asks how he thinks she became head of her family. She declares it was all thanks to her stunning beauty. She was sold as a slave to the previous family head. She used her wiles to bring the man to his knees. Then she took everything, his money, power, and status. She calls it a fitting end for such a pathetic man. She calls his name, her face now completely shadowed. She wants to utterly destroy whoever threatened her. Rihito realizes she's asking him to be her accomplice. He understands his role is just a means to an end. He flatly refuses her manipulative offer. Her pleasant expression instantly vanishes. She glares, unused to being rejected. He respects her ambition but refuses to be her pawn. She tries to tempt him with a reward. She even offers her body as part of the deal. Her desperate offer is met with a deadpan stare. Mako's confident facade shatters into tears. Her sudden vulnerability catches Rihito off guard. She retreats to a corner, calling herself worthless. The noblewoman dramatically declares she'll just die. Rihito is completely overwhelmed by her theatrics. Broken by the pressure, he finally agrees to her quest. They sit down and she admits it was all a trap. She believes this charade will lure out the culprit. Mako admits she enjoys these thrilling situations. Luda cheers him on, completely into the public drama. The waitress's face twists into a terrifying mask. She orders Luda to throw the noblewoman out. Pressured by the waitress, Luda reluctantly steps forward. Rihito sweats nervously beside the smug noblewoman. Luda winks, telling him to enjoy his pampered life. Mako asks what business he has with her man. The burly adventurer covers his eyes, completely flustered. He strikes a dramatic pose, his confidence returning. He introduces himself, boasting of his physical strengths. He then offers the noblewoman a private match. Mako smirks, enjoying the chaos she's created. Slave Chan quietly tugs on her master's sleeve. The noblewoman coldly dismisses Luda as a child. She sends the massive adventurer flying with one strike. The waitress deadpans that he was completely useless. Mako decides it's time for her and Rihito to leave. He nervously asks where she's taking him now. She needs the entire town to see her new lover. The sheer scale of her plan horrifies him. She declares they'll flaunt their love for all to see. Mako drags him on a very public shopping spree. She clings to him, playing the part of a lover. Their every move is watched by unseen eyes. She puts on a grand, romantic display for the town. The strange bear creature seethes with jealousy. Rihito suffers through her gleeful, public performance. Their entire charade is designed to be seen. A few days later, they arrive at her mansion. The plan continues at the estate's hot springs. While the women relax, Rihito's soul leaves his body. Mako sighs, enjoying a rare moment of peace. Slave-chan watches her master from the side. Her eyes gleam with a mischievous plan. Mako slides closer, asking why he's so distant. She tells him to be grateful for this private moment. She whispers in his ear, asking if he's excited. Slave-chan erupts from the water, furious. She declares her exclusive rights to her master. He orders her to sit, and she immediately obeys. The bear creature offers a paw, licking it suggestively. Rihito begs Mako to stop teasing him. He wonders if the enemy will actually make a move. Mako insists the culprit will act soon. She claims it's her all-powerful woman's intuition. She rises from the water, forcing him to look away. Slave-chan follows suit, striking a competitive pose. Later that night, a shadow watches from the roof. The trio walks down a dark hallway in formal attire. A man with a mustache suddenly appears before them. His face twists into a sinister, knowing smirk. Mako introduces him as a senior staff member. She dismisses the man named Evil for the day. The man's gaze is filled with sinister intent, but he quietly refuses to leave. He suddenly points, vowing to denounce her. Mako blushes, absolutely thrilled by the confrontation. He repeats his dramatic vow to bring her down. Rihito is horrified by her villainous roleplay. He glances over, completely unnerved. Her wicked expression leaves him deeply disturbed. Slave-chan hides her face, mortified by the scene. She completely breaks down into a mess of tears. She sobs, asking why Evil is being so cruel. But Rihito sees through the man's blatant lies. Evil accuses Mako of seducing her way to power. The man's smug expression never wavers, so Rihito slaps him right across the face. The sudden violence shocks everyone into silence. He mutters that this whole charade is a disgrace. Mako reveals this was all a ploy to force a confession. Evil reveals he was investigating her the whole time. He accuses Mako of embezzling the family's funds. The accusation leaves Mako completely stunned. He presents an official impeachment notice against her. Rihito watches nervously as she reads the document. Slave-chan asks if she should eliminate the noblewoman. Rihito admits the situation is genuinely terrifying. A sinister woman thanks Evil for his hard work. The man is completely baffled by her sudden appearance. She reveals the impeachment was her true goal all along. Evil stares, his smug confidence completely gone. He stammers, realizing he was just a pawn. The woman explains she used him to get the notice signed. She licks her lips, enjoying her perfect trap. Evil breaks down, laughing in utter despair. But Mako snatches the notice right out of her hand. The schemer screams, enraged by her bold move. Mako offers to reveal where the money really went. She used it to fund a disaster relief organization. Even Slave-chan is surprised by this sudden twist. Rihito has no idea what she's talking about. Evil stammers, his face pale with shock. He screams that her explanation is completely absurd. Rihito asks what a Magatsukai even is. The strange name hangs in the air. She reveals it's a group bent on world destruction. Evil accuses her of funding terrorists, an act of treason. Mako calmly confirms his every accusation. She reminds Rihito they were both slaves here. A world that insulted her deserves to be destroyed. Mako calmly asks Evil if he's ready to die. Rihito watches as the man dissolves into dust. He suddenly realizes they're the villains in this story. Mako casually asks him to clean up the mess. Rihito just points, completely dumbfounded. His mind struggles to process the command. He screams, realizing she's framing him for the crime. She reminds him he accepted her special request. Mako is ecstatic, thrilled by her act of treason. She asks if he's ready to be a wanted man. Rihito apologizes, saying he has no choice but to kill him. He breaks down, asking Slave-chan to just kill him instead. He screams in anguish, forced to commit the murder. But his target just smirks back at him. The smirk breaks into a dark, sinister laugh. Mako asks why he's laughing at his own execution. The man screams back, completely denying it. He declares that despite the setback, he will win. He reveals he knew her lover was an adventurer. He screams that he's gathered his own forces in response. A gang of hired thugs suddenly blocks their path. The mercenaries have them completely surrounded. But Mako just smirks, completely unfazed by the threat. The leader confirms he was hired to kill her all along. The thugs eagerly discuss their promised reward. Their leader says they can have the women, too. A new group arrives, led by a man with an eye patch. Rihito seethes, telling them to stop messing around. His murderous glare catches the thugs off guard. He asks Mako what they're supposed to do now. Mako trembles, drooling from the sheer thrill of it all. Rahido asks Slave-chan what they should do now. She asks why he's worried, vowing to protect him. He nervously asks if she can protect Mako, too. Slave-chan coldly says it's fine if that woman dies. But Mako fantasizes about a beautiful, shameful death. Rahido begs Slave-chan, unable to protect Mako alone. He formally asks for her help, his face grim. He promises he will do anything she asks in return. Her eyes widen, processing her master's total submission. A terrifying aura explodes from Slave-chan. The shockwave shatters every window in the hall. Glass rains down on the terrified mercenaries. Even Mako is stunned by this display of power. The thugs are frozen, their confidence completely gone. The eye-patch leader can only stare in disbelief. She quietly accepts her master's command. Her eyes gleam with murderous intent. She vows to annihilate them all with a smile.